We just finished hiking more than 100 miles around the Mont Blanc massif, over 10 hiking days, 12 days total. But our European adventure is not yet over. We have 2 full days, 3 more nights to explore one of Switzerland's most stunning valleys near Wengen, Switzerland, even though the weather had other plans. In this video, I'm sharing our complete 5-day journey from Chamonix to Zurich. The trains, the trails, the waterfalls, and the real costs. Whether you're planning your own Swiss adventure or just dreaming about it, I've got the logistics covered. Welcome to Chad's Adventures. It's time for a little recovery and our final logistical planning here in Chamonix before we head off to Switzerland. Terry and I have officially finished the Tour du Mont Blanc, and we are in Chamonix for a day. We are here to relax before doing our vacation to Switzerland. This water is nice and warm, relaxing. We're gonna end up in Wengen tomorrow, so we're arranging our transport today. The first thing we had to do was figure out how to get from Chamonix, France to Wengen, Switzerland. Switzerland is famous for its trains. They're fast, on time, and connect practically everywhere. So once we get to Switzerland, taking the train is a no-brainer. But getting to Switzerland from Chamonix gave us a few choices. We could take a train or a bus, but both meant walking to the station with our heavy packs and suitcases. Not exactly appealing. So for convenience and simplicity, we went with Mountain Drop-Offs, a local door-to-door shuttle company we'd used before at the start of our Tour du Mont Blanc hike. They're Chamonix's longest-running transfer service. The ride cost us $117 total. That's a little over 100 euros for both of us from Chamonix to the Geneva airport, where we could easily hop on trains bound for Wengen. I definitely recommend them if you're planning a similar trip. Their contact information is on the screen. Today is a chore day. I have on a backpack that is full of dirty laundry. So we're going to head there. We're going to try to find a finished t-shirt and odds and ends. And we are going to relax and enjoy ourselves. We have dinner set up for later here at the hotel. And before that, a nice end of the hike massage. The laundromat that we're going to is Alp Lever. It's about a 12-minute walk from our hotel. It has everything you need there. All you need to do is select your temperature and which machine you want and pay for it by credit card or cash. Definitely not cheap. We had a week's worth of laundry and it cost us about $18. Laundry is done, but somehow our bags expanded. Last time walking up this huge hill, up to our hotel. We are saying goodbye to Chamonix. Did a little shopping. Got a couple of picture frames. And of course a t-shirt for the Tour du Mont Blanc. They sell a lot of Coke in town. This is few and far between. So, we're gonna have lunch with leftovers from our breakfast. I am getting spoiled. Fresh squeezed orange juice. All this fresh bread. I'm gonna have an omelet. Oh, look at this. Fruit. Oh, I'm gonna have that croissant later. And there's all sorts of cheese. And then have dinner at the hotel. It's supposed to be a really fancy splurge type of dinner. With clean clothes and a plan in hand, it was time to say goodbye to France and hello to Switzerland. We had a perfect weather day today, but the clouds are moving in, and this will affect our next few days significantly. This is our last meal here at the restaurant. It's overcast today. The forecast for the next few days is not looking great. Hopefully we'll have a little sunshine during the morning to early afternoons before the rains come each day. If not, we'll figure something out. We are on our way. We're at the train station at the airport in Geneva now, and we're going to try and catch a 10:25 to Freiburg and then transfer from there. Switzerland is known for having one of the most extensive and efficient rail networks in all of Europe. But figuring out the best way to use it, well, that can be a little overwhelming. Between the different types of travel passes, regional options, and routes that overlap, it can be confusing and time-consuming to decide what's right for your trip. So let's break it down and make sense of it, starting with the main types of Swiss travel passes. There are 4 main travel passes in Switzerland: the Swiss Travel Pass, the Half-Fare Pass, the Jungfrau Pass, and the Berner Oberland Pass. Which one you choose really depends on what activities you plan on doing while you are in Switzerland. What complicated things for us was that we spent most of our time planning for our Tour du Mont Blanc hike and very little time in comparison planning for our end-of-the-trip travel to Switzerland. We are arriving in Freiburg. We have a track that's being repaired between Freiburg and Bern, so we will be taking a bus for that section. Wow, we made the transfer. This is a double-decker. In hindsight, had I known what I know now, I would have purchased a different travel pass than the one I did. I'll provide a summary of past comparisons based on my actual travels here at the end of this segment. For now, let's get into the specifics of the passes. The first option, and probably the best known, is the Swiss Travel Pass. This is an all-inclusive pass that gives you unlimited travel on trains, buses, and boats across most of the country. You can buy it for 3, 4, 6, 8, or even 15 consecutive days, and it includes some great bonuses like free entry to more than 500 museums and discounts on mountain excursions. The best advantage? Well, I'd say it's simplicity. You just hop on and go, no need to buy separate tickets. But it's also one of the most expensive passes, so if you aren't traveling every day through different regions, you may end up paying more for the convenience more than the value. We are in first class. We did buy first class tickets. Get a little bit more space for all the traveling that we're doing. This next pass is the half-fare card. This one's a great choice for travelers who prefer flexibility, and one that I wish I had investigated more before making a choice. For a flat fee, it gives you 50% off most trains, buses, boats, and mountain lifts for an entire month. The catch? You'll have to buy tickets for every part of your journey, but it will be at half price. If you're staying longer or traveling only a few days here and there, this pass can save you quite a bit without locking you into consecutive days. The Jungfrau Travel Pass is designed specifically for the Jungfrau region. Places like Lauterbrunnen, Grindelwald, Wengen, and Mürren. These were the places that we explored while we were here. It's ideal if your plans include sightseeing in the Alps or visiting iconic destinations like Jungfrau Hohe or Scheinige Platte. This pass covers unlimited travel in the Jungfrau region for a specific set of consecutive days. Keep in mind it doesn't cover travel outside the region. And finally, the Berner Oberland Pass. This one offers more flexibility than the Jungfrau Pass because it covers a larger region, stretching from Bern all the way to Brig, including Interlaken, Grindelwald, and Gstaad. It's great if you're exploring multiple valleys or want to combine scenic train rides with mountain excursions. Like the others, it's available for a set number of consecutive days, and often includes discounts on mountain lifts that aren't fully covered. As you can see, each of these passes have their own advantages, and the right one really depends on your travel style and what your plans are. The more you tighten down your itinerary, the easier the decision becomes on which pass to choose. For us, in this next part, I'll share what we actually used on our trip, what I do differently, and some practical tips for navigating the Swiss Rail apps that make all of this much easier. When we finally turned our attention to our mini vacation in Switzerland, it was pretty late in the game. I did some quick research, bought a few guides, and booked a 1-hour consult with the Switzerlanding.com travel expert. In the end, we had not narrowed down our plans at all. Everything was still on the table. Trümmelbach Falls, Schilthorn, the Eiger Trail, Grindelwald first to Fallhorn via Bockalpsee, Lake Brienz, and even Jungfrauhof. These were all still on the table. So we went with what seemed the simplest and most convenient, the Swiss Travel Pass. In hindsight, though, on cost alone, we should have purchased the half-fare travel pass based on the activities we ended up actually doing. What's interesting, now that I had some time to look into it, is if we had done all those activities we had wanted to do, including the Jungfrauhof, then the Jungfrau travel pass would most likely have made more sense. Without the Jungfrauhof, it was a toss-up between the Jungfrau and the half-fare travel pass. All of this to say, the closer you can narrow in on your itinerary, the better. There are resources out there that can help you. You've got some YouTube vloggers, bloggers, consultants, websites, guides, and books. It's all very overwhelming if you ask me. But here's a list of potential resources that might help you. I found the Swiss Travel Calculator to be very interesting. Let me show you. It's a calculator that you can put information in, and it'll tell you the best card to get based on the activities you're going to do. Pre-populated some based on some of the travel that I did do, and the half-fare card is showing up the best value. But if I go in and I start adding some of the things that we didn't do, like the Schilthorn, if I just did that, the Berner Oberland Pass becomes more efficient from a cost perspective. If I want to do the Jungfrau Ho, though, that one, it still shows the Swiss half-fare card as being the best value. Once you've decided which travel pass works best for you, the next big question is how to actually navigate the Switzerland's rail network. Fortunately, the Swiss make this part pretty incredibly easy with one app that does almost everything for you. It's called the SBB Mobile, and if you download just one travel app for your trip, this should be it. Let me show you why. It gives you up-to-the-minute information on every train in Switzerland, from platform numbers and departure times to connection details, delays, and even how crowded a train might be. You can see ticket prices, buy tickets directly, and it'll even guide you with walking directions between platforms or to a connecting bus. My favorite feature is the Via option. It lets you purposely add a stop or a scenic route. For example, if you're traveling from Wengen to Zurich, the app's default route goes through Bern. But if you'd rather take the more scenic route through Luzerne, you can add Luzerne as a Via stop, and you'll see all the connecting trains through Luzerne. There's a couple of other features I wanted to bring up. You can take a look at what the train layout is if you're looking for first class or second class, or if you can put a bike on. It also shows you if you have any interruptions along the way, and if you're going to have to get off and get on a bus instead of continuing with the train. There is so much to love about this app. Be sure you download it before you head off to Switzerland. The bus dropped us off in Bern, and now we need to catch our train to Interlaken. So we are going to Lauterbrunnen. If you were going to Grindelwald, you'd go down that way. It's important to know because the trains are going to split in Zweilutschienen as we head to Lauterbrunnen and then on to Wengen. As a bonus tip, the Meteo Swiss app. Weather changes fast in the Alps. This app helped us decide when it made sense to adjust our plans. After 4.5 hours of trains and one bus ride, we finally arrived in Wengen for our 3-night stay. We are staying at the Alpenrose. Looks like a nice place. And this is our view from our 3rd floor balcony. Tomorrow we figure out Switzerland's famous aerial cableways. We arrived in Wengen yesterday. Today we're going to try to get up Mannlichen lift and then do the Royal Walk and the Kleine Scheidegg. First, we're going to hopefully go through a cloud layer and see some views. The Mannlichen lift cost 29 francs without the Swiss travel pass. That's about $36. For 5 extra euros, you can get on the balcony, which is just above the cable car. So I will be out in the fresh air going up the mountain. Is just under a mile out and back that takes you to the top of Mannlichen Peak. Along the way, you'll see interesting placards with various information on them. Let's see what kind of view we get. Oh, look how beautiful though. Wow. We are heading up there. These are the views that we should be able to see. Eiger, Manch, and Jungfrau. I have a feeling we're not going to be able to see it. Well, as you can see, that is our view. We are at 7,700 feet and in the clouds. Eiger should be behind me, according to this map up here. But no views for us today, at least not yet. This is the view we should be able to see from here. Too bad it's not visible. They have a lot of markers here along this railing that tells you what it is you're looking at. So just imagine how beautiful. Yeah, pretty dramatic. I'm gonna head down and over to the Kleine Scheidegg. This one right here. Kleine Scheidegg, and then eventually Alpenglen, but we're not going to take a train. We're going to walk the Eiger Trail if the weather holds. Look at you. They are huge bells. I don't understand why they have to be so big. This was called the Mannlichen Bahn, and it goes all the way down into Grindelwald, from what I could tell. It's definitely not the one we came up on. The one we came up on is now up in the clouds up there. At the top of the Mannlichen Bahn, I totally missed this alpine herdsman playground. There's a huge cow slide there that I definitely would have given a try had I realized it was there. You can get a map from your hotel. They have numbered trails on that map, and we're going to be doing trail number 33. Wow, you like getting close, don't you? Just don't eat anything. Well, that was a close encounter. These trails are a little different than the Tour du Mont Blanc. Easier grades and open trails. Feels like you're out here in the middle of nowhere. Switzerland does it up right. Look at this. It's got a shelter and a place to go to the bathroom while you're out hiking. Now if it would just open up those clouds for some sun. This is the Grindelwald Blick. We stopped here for a quick bite to eat. This is a rosti dish with a lot of cheese and some tomatoes. We had a tomato and cheese rosti. What do you think of it? She didn't care for it. Had a lot of cheese on there, not a lot of rosti. On a clear day, be sure to stop at the viewing platform that they have. We're going to try and catch a train over to the Eiger Glacier. Our plan is to take the Kleine Scheidegg train to Eiger Glacier Station, then hike 4.3 miles, which is about 7 kilometers, to the Alpenglen train station, where we can catch a train into Grindelwald for a quick stop, and then back to Wengen for dinner. This is the Kleine Scheidegg rail station. We're using a machine to get the tickets. There's 6 francs instead of 8. So the train that you're on, it was track 21, and it's the same train that goes to Jungfrau. But we get off on the first stop. So we changed things up a little. Terry's all bundled up. It's probably in the low 40s, feels like upper 30s. And it's drizzling. And I think we finally found the right trail. It's getting very foggy. At the start of the trail, you'll pass a mountaineering exhibit dedicated to the history of the Eiger North Face ascents, along with those that tragically lost their lives. This trail's not going to be as easy and open as the one we came over on. It's a little bit more narrow, a little more steep. Even with the cloud cover, we did manage to get a peek at the north face of the Eiger. Although we didn't get the best views today, I love seeing all the water coming off the mountains around us. You can just feel the power of this water. Look at that. Look how sculpted out these are. Look how high the water comes. I am always amazed at the power of water. That's power. Here's our clearest view so far. They got a little cable up, which means it's a little steep. Just walking into the Alpenglen station. It's $13.60 each with the travel pass. We were in Alpenglen. We were at the Kleine Scheidegg. And we started at Mannlichen. And now we're going to take the train down to Grindelwald. After spending a little time walking around Grindelwald, we realized how different the vibe is here. A lot more people, more hustle, and definitely cars. We're glad we're staying in Wengen. 8 miles and a lot of trains later, we are back at our hotel. 2 days down in Wengen, 1 more to go. Tomorrow's forecast, rain, lots of it. But that wouldn't stop us from exploring Europe's most powerful waterfall. We are on our last day here in Wengen, and as you can see, it is raining again. We aren't expecting clear mountain views today, so we have decided to explore the beautiful car-free mountain village of Mürren, hike down to Gimmelwald for exercise and fresh air, and experience the abundant waterfalls of the Lauterbrunnen region. Once you're in Lauterbrunnen, you'll catch a gondola to the Groot shop and then take the historic 1913 train from Grutschop to Mürren, all of which is free with the Swiss Travel Pass. Expect it to take about 45 minutes to get from Wengen to Mürren. Very Swiss. They have such fantastic gardens. With the mountain socked in the clouds, we skipped the cable car to the top. It would have cost just over $100 for a round-trip ticket. We're looking forward to the waterfalls instead. We're going to go down to Gemmelwald. 35 minutes. Mürren is a beautiful little town. Too bad it was raining when we were here. It was not clear to go up to the Schilthorn. And you can see the waterfalls in the background. It's pretty. We are back into full-on rain. Terry's in heaven with all these flower boxes, gardens. They do such a nice job, their gardens. This is what we should be seeing. And this is what we're seeing. So they do have these little markets. They're self-serve on your honor. You can buy some homemade Alpine cheese. I like this little house. We're ready to get out of the rain for a bit and head down to Steckelberg before continuing on to Trümmelbach Falls. To get to Trümmelbach Falls, we hopped on bus 141, which runs between the Steckelberg gondola station and Lauterbrunnen. Just get off at the stop literally named Trümmelbach Falls, and you're right there. Now this place is wild. Trümmelbach is actually 10 glacier-fed waterfalls, all hidden inside the cliffs of the Lauterbrunnen Valley. These falls are draining meltwater from the Eiger, Monch, and Jungfrau up to 20,000 liters per second. What makes this even cooler is how you explore it. There's this incredible network of tunnels, staircases, walkways, and even a little cave funicular that helps lift you partway up inside the mountain. And once you're in there, the sound is thunderous. You can feel the ground vibrating under your feet. Being that close to the sheer force of the water, well, it's honestly exhilarating. I stood there just in awe of how powerful nature can be. To access these incredible waterfalls, the entrance fee is 16 Swiss francs, which is about $20. Make sure you wear sturdy shoes and bring some kind of a rain shell. The walkways can be uneven and the spray hits you from every direction. You'll be climbing up and down stairs, but there are plenty of handrails and spots to stop and look. This is a popular attraction, so expect a bit of a wait. We waited about 15 minutes at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and by the time we left an hour later, the line had already doubled. But honestly, I highly recommend this stop. I don't think I've felt anything that powerful in my life. The waterfalls are unbelievably intense. I think it's well worth the 16 francs to go up there. That water is intense. It's powerful. Man, got my heart racing. As I said in the moment, when the mountains hide in clouds, the waterfalls come alive. Sarah's going to go ahead and take the train back to Wengen. I'm going to do one more waterfall, Staubbach Falls. Terry headed back to warm up, but I had heard you could actually get behind Staubbach Falls, and of course that was all the motivation I needed. When I arrived, there was already a line, but it moved steadily. The trail starts off in a tunnel, followed by a set of stairs. Eventually, you get to a rock surface, and footing becomes uneven. There are slick rocks, tight passages, and constant dripping of water from above. Eventually, you reach the end, the spot where you're supposed to be behind the falls. And I did manage to get a picture up there, but I'll be honest, for me, it didn't quite live up to the hype. With the amount of water flowing that day, the path stops before you truly get behind the curtain of water, so the payoff felt a little underwhelming compared to the wait. That was about 45 minutes. In the end, I actually thought the best view of Staubbach Falls was right from the street, where you can see the full drop against the cliffs of Lauterbrunnen. From that angle, the waterfall is absolutely spectacular. So if you're short on time, or tired, or soaked, or all three, just know that you're not missing much by skipping the climb. But if you love waterfalls and don't mind uneven terrain and getting a little wet, it's still a fun little adventure. For me, it wasn't really about the view at the end. It was about squeezing every last drop out of the day in Lauterbrunnen. And honestly, even in the rain, this valley is pure magic. I am back in Wengen. So today was not bad for a rainy day. We're catching our flight home tomorrow from Zurich. And for the first time in days, we'd actually see the sun. We are packing up. This is our last day in Wengen. And we are heading to Zurich for our flight out tomorrow. So today is a travel day. We finally got a little bit of blue skies, but we're heading out.
For the next 14 days, there's not even partial sun in the forecast.
So it's good we're going.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, right now it's not too bad, but it's supposed to rain. This is it. This is the last time we're getting this train. Lauterbrunnen. Say goodbye to Wengen. Terry's ready to go home.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But I want to come back.
3 weeks is a long time to be away. We are arriving in Mürren. We made it to Zurich. It is the day of our return. We're already delayed almost 2 hours. Here are some key takeaways on our trip here in Switzerland. Wengen was the perfect place for us to stay. It's car-free, less touristy, had a authentic feel, and was very central to all the other towns and activities. The Swiss Travel Pass may not be your best value, as we can attest to. To get the best value, narrow down your activities and then decide which pass. Transportation in Switzerland is easier than it seems. Download the SBB app, and that will help make it relatively stress-free. The weather is unpredictable. What we didn't see in mountain views, though, we made up for in the exhilarating waterfalls of the region. Don't let weather forecasts cancel your plans. Just adjust expectations. And if you get a chance, stop at Trümmelbach Falls. That was my favorite stop of the trip. Less than a week after landing home, I was on another airplane, this time with my husband, heading to Alaska for 3 weeks. Helicopter dog sledding on glaciers, bear viewing in Katmai National Park, and a remote float plane stay at Twin Lakes in Lake Clark National Park. And so much more. That series is coming soon. If this helped you plan your Swiss adventure, or if you found it intriguing or enjoyable, hit that subscribe button. Drop any questions you have in the comments below. Check the description for all the links and resources that I mentioned. And last but not least, thank you for joining us in Switzerland. See you in Alaska.